Yo, Bungie, more of this. I want more of this. I like this a lot. And I think pretty much everybody likes this a lot. Now, a couple months ago, couple weeks ago, it felt like the development team, I can't really speak for executives or anything like that, but this isn't necessarily pinning blame on the development team necessarily, but it felt like the communication pipeline was just not there. It felt like we weren't getting the information that we needed. Transparency was seemingly last on the list of the priorities of things. Well, we got a little taste of something here. We got a taste of transparency, direct communication, directly addressing issues with not only microtransactions, matchmaking, aspects of the season, including specific activities returning that weren't necessarily, activities that many people wanted to go back to, addressing different routes for the current seasonal activity. The Destiny 2 team on Twitter really snapped today. Well, I guess yesterday. I want more of this. So if you guys don't know, the Destiny 2 team took to Twitter and addressed a lot of the current sentiment on Twitter and whatnot, talking about some people's gripes and things that they're not really enjoying, or the overwhelming outrage that came from the $15 starter pack, which included a Sleeper Simulant, a Traveler's Chosen, Ruinous Effigy, and a pinch of materials that take you, I don't know, 30 minutes, an hour to obtain. Clearly exploitive of them to include in a paid bundle there. It's taking advantage of new players and people who really don't know what they're doing. Anybody who has been on Destiny or played it for, a decent amount of time saw directly through what was going on. It was a blatant cash grab and was preying on the ignorance of players who don't necessarily know a lot of the systems. It looks attractive if you're new. You look at it and you're like, wow, look at this. This is giving me the starter. This is the starter pack here. This is giving me, what I need. But a few enhancement prisms, a few enhancement shards that get spent in a total of about 30 seconds if you go to any vendor. I don't know. But the topic here today, the thing I'm sort of talking about here, is the transparency and communication coming from the Destiny 2 team on Twitter. Here's what this says. It says, hey everyone, we launched Season of the Wish yesterday and have been monitoring the conversation around what you've been enjoying and what you haven't. We'll start things off with the starter pack, which is not something bringing joy, which is why we've pulled it from stores. Good job. Good job. I want to say that this is a phenomenal move. I mean, it is, given that the bar is relatively low here in terms of microtransactions and how bad they can be. This shouldn't have been a thing in the first place. And I think an even bigger W is give that starter kit out to new lights for free. Give the new people something. You know what I mean? That should be free, in my opinion. If you download the game, if these players, the new players, are giving you the time out of their day to give your game a chance, they deserve, at the very least, that starter pack free. To continue on, they say, we've heard your concerns and agreed that there are other parts of Destiny 2 that new players should want to dive into first before chasing these exotic weapons, cosmetics, and upgrade materials. Further on, Dodge Master here says, do Blind Well next. That was another pain point that a lot of people were talking about, is the return of the Blind Well with the current season. It was the second mission, the second mission of the seasonal storyline, and they take you back to an activity that's been in the game for, 4 years? They said, okay, pretty straightforward. Let's jump on over here. They said, we've heard you that asking players to go back to the Blind Well as part of the first week's story is a sore spot. One of our goals here was to make sure players knew from the start that there's increased difficulty and new loot to earn in this activity. Just put a prompt on the screen, honestly. You won't need to go back every week. Players will only be asked to return to the Blind Well once in week 6. That's a very, very far away. I'm surprised that they were like, yeah, you're going to go back to it one more time, but that's in 6 weeks. And it will be an opt-in activity after that for the rest of the season. For the completionists out there, we'll have one seasonal challenge tied to the Blind Well later in the season and one heroic Blind Well completion requirement for the seal. Very straightforward. Look at the sentiment here. W communication, good communication here, like big W, yeah, we like that. They continued on with some more information here too. So right here, they say, we're happy to see the love for the Coil and Riven's lair from the community so far. We wanted to make sure loot was front and center, especially for those who go for Platinum. Remember, this is week 1. Different paths through the Coil will be rotating as the season unfolds. So if you don't know, if you earn Platinum while running the seasonal activity, there is a final chest room that gives you, I believe, 6 chests, and it is just loot explosion. It is a lot of loot. It is a lot of loot. They definitely did not skimp on the loot there. That is, the reward from that is rather rather surprising. I very much like that. However, the shard economy is a bit too unforgiving based on our early observations. The team is looking into improving this so the path to platinum is still possible even if you don't collect every shard from every pot. Speaking of loot, the team has already fixed an issue that prevented all players from getting loot from the chest at the end Riven's Lair run. So in order to get platinum, you had to collect every single shard, like literally every single shard you could from breaking pots and other interactables around it. Not a single one could be missed. That's when you get your platinum. But looks like they've kind of reeled back on the requirements there. Let's go up a little more. Here we go, some PvP information. They say our PvP strike team has been delivering a lot of updates on changes coming to the game, and we just launched several this week. Some early feedback we are seeing and would like to address. Control will be available as a selectable mode while Checkmate control is active. More details to come in this week's Twid tomorrow. We see a lot of speculation about Checkmate and what that means for core Crucible. We have no plans to turn Checkmate on across all of Crucible. Instead, we're aiming for a midway point for ability cooldowns and weapon tuning that doesn't result in specific weapons dominating. We're also aware of some issues with Checkmate's special ammo implementation, and we'll be trying various new approaches to improve this system. Regarding Checkmate TTK, time to kill, changes. We will be regularly tuning TTK. Our target going forward is to keep optimal TTK consistent with the current Crucible sandbox, i.e., the fastest you can defeat an opponent will remain unchanged. Meanwhile, we will be looking to reduce body shot damage. The end result is an increase in the skill gap, where consistent headshots are rewarded with faster time to kill. We are aware that there are spawn issues in Countdown Rush on the Citadel and Multiplex. We will be temporarily disabling these two maps in competitive. There seems to be some instances in which Belisarius D, competitive pulse rifle, is not being rewarded for completing the placement series challenges. We are actively investigating this. Iron Banner kicks off next Tuesday with the new tribute mode, and we've got good news. Lord Saladin will start selling Iron Banner armor ornaments from years 1 and 2, and the elusive Iron Simichi set will return as the base set at last. Put those Iron Banner engrams to work. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen this before, but some of the OG Iron Banner armor, oh boy, it looks good. It looks very good. Like, you really can't go wrong here. It's a phenomenal set. Year 1 and 2 Iron Banner is some of the best Iron Banner armor that they have offered. And it's coming back, baby. It is coming back. We got a little hint of this through the Today in Destiny, the Eververse calendar. They showed the Iron Banner Year 1 and Year 2 armor sets. Here's some more information regarding anti-barrier sidearms this season. We're super excited about the new rocket sidearm weapon subtype launching this Friday in the new Warlord's Ruin dungeon. The sidearm archetype should give folks more opportunity to counteract barrier champions with the season's artifact, even if they aren't leaning into the Solar Radiant artifact perks or existing intrinsic anti-barrier exotics. So I know that people are a little peeved about sidearms being the anti-barrier this season, but guys, just hover over the little anti-barrier icon next to your subclass on the character creation screen. You can see all the other routes for breaking barriers. But yeah, pretty much as you can see, I mean, just since what, 18 hours ago. What time was that? 6:47 last night. Since 6:47 last night, they have posted more than I think they have in the past couple months. Their communication here is wide open, directly to the community, and I'm very, very, very grateful for that. And this should be the standard. This should be what is expected. They want to go back for that best community support award. This is how you do it. This is a good step in that right direction. With Joe Blackburn doing the face-to-face talks on camera in the stream room and whatnot, those are phenomenal. Open communication on Twitter like so, phenomenal. Big detailed twids, phenomenal. Just keep these three things working in tandem with each other on a consistent basis. And I mean, I'll gladly give you that community support award there. You know, I'll definitely vote for you. But, you know, everybody's got a sour taste in their mouth after they fired a lot of their previous community managers and whatnot. You know, not necessarily, you know, forgiving that in a way. But the way it is now, I'm really digging this. I'm really digging what they're doing here. So, Bungie, keep this up. Keep doing this. I like this. Anyways, that's all for me today, folks. I just want to let you guys know that Bungie's being transparent on Twitter. Let's go. Leave a like, subscribe. You know, subscribing helps out a lot more than you know, the old shtick. But I appreciate everybody who has. I didn't expect to break even, I don't know, 30 subs. So I very much appreciate the support that I've gotten in the past couple months. Anyways, that's all for today. Catch y'all on the flip side. Take care. Deuces.